Walking in Divine Purpose Lessons from the Three Women, Esther, Ruth, and Deborah. In our previous videos, we explored the lives of three remarkable women in the Bible, Ruth, Esther, and Deborah. Each of these women lived in different times, faced different circumstances, and carried different assignments. Yet they all shared one powerful reality. They walked in divine purpose. Today we will reflect on their lives together under the theme, Walking in Divine Purpose, Lessons from the Three Women. Their stories remind us that God's divine agenda is not carried forward by men alone. Throughout history, God has raised women of faith, courage, wisdom, and loyalty to accomplish His purposes on the earth. In a time when many question the place of women in leadership and influence, the lives of Ruth, Esther, and Deborah clearly demonstrate that God values and uses women as vital instruments in fulfilling His divine plan. Ruth, purpose through loyalty and faithfulness. Ruth's story begins with hardship. She was a Moabite woman, a foreigner outside the covenant of Israel. Yet when her mother-in-law Naomi decided to return to Bethlehem, Ruth made a life-changing declaration. Your people shall be my people, and your God shall be my God. Ruth chose loyalty over convenience. She left behind her homeland, her culture, and her comfort to align herself with the God of Israel. Her humility and diligence later positioned her to meet Boaz, and through that union she became part of the lineage of King David and ultimately of Jesus Christ. Ruth teaches us that divine purpose can begin with simple acts of loyalty, humility, and obedience. Esther, purpose through courage and strategic leadership. Esther's story unfolds in a completely different setting. She was an orphan living in exile under Persian rule. Yet, through God's providence and the guidance of her guardian Mordecai, Esther arose from obscurity to become queen. When a plot emerged to destroy the Jewish people, Esther faced a defining moment. She had to choose between silence and sacrifice. Encouraged by Mordecai's famous words, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Esther chose courage. She risked her life by approaching the king and ultimately saved her people. Esther teaches us that divine purpose often requires courage, bold decision-making, and willingness to stand for others. Deborah, purpose through spiritual authority and leadership. Deborah's story is yet another powerful example. Unlike Ruth and Esther, Deborah held a public leadership role in Israel. She was both a prophetess and a judge, guiding the nation spiritually and politically. At the time when Israel was oppressed and discouraged, Deborah heard from God and called the people to action. She encouraged Barak to lead the army and trusted God for victory. Through her leadership, Israel experienced deliverance and peace. Deborah teaches us that divine purpose sometimes involves leading others with wisdom, courage, and spiritual authority. Although their stories are different, these three women share several powerful similarities. First, each woman aligned herself with God's will. Their lives were centered around obedience to God. Second, each woman demonstrated strong character, loyalty in Ruth, courage in Esther, and wisdom in Deborah. Third, each woman influenced others beyond her personal life. Their actions affected families, nations, and future generations. Fourth, each woman stepped forward at a critical moment when God's people needed leadership, faith, and courage. Their lives confirm that God raises individuals at the right time to accomplish His purpose. Differences in their pathways to purpose. Despite their similarities, the pathways to their purpose were different. Ruth's purpose emerged through loyalty and service within family relationships. Esther's purpose unfolded through strategic influence within political leadership. Deborah's purpose manifested through spiritual authority and national leadership. These differences remind us that divine purpose is unique for each individual. God does not assign identical roles to everyone. Each person must discover the assignment God has designed specifically for them. One of the strongest lessons from these three stories is the vital role women play in advancing God's kingdom. Women are not merely observers in God's plan. They are active participants, leaders, mentors, and instruments of transformation. Throughout Scripture, God has raised women who demonstrated wisdom, courage, faith, and leadership. Ruth, Esther, and Deborah stand as clear examples of this truth. Even today, God continues to call women to walk in divine purpose, to influence families, communities, churches, and nations. There is a special message here for young women today. The world often measures value through appearance, popularity, or social influence. But the lives of Ruth, Esther, and Deborah show that true significance comes from alignment with God's purpose. Young women are encouraged to seek God early in life, develop strong character and discipline, value wisdom and mentorship, be courageous when facing difficult decisions, and use their gifts to serve God and others. When young women discover their divine purpose early, they become powerful instruments for positive change. Our generation needs women who will rise with the spirit of Ruth, the courage of Esther, and the wisdom of Deborah. God is still searching for hearts that are willing to walk faithfully with Him. He is looking for women who will stand for truth, demonstrate loyalty, and lead with wisdom and courage. The question for each of us today is, will we seek and embrace the divine purpose God has placed within our lives? Conclusion. Ruth, Esther, and Deborah lived in different times and circumstances, yet each one responded to God's call with faith and obedience. Their lives remind us that divine purpose is not limited by background, gender, or circumstance. When we align ourselves with God's will, He uses our lives to accomplish far greater things than we could ever imagine. May their stories inspire us, especially the young women among us, to seek God diligently, walk faithfully with Him, and boldly embrace the divine purpose prepared for us.